suffered. They were happy when he died. They cared for his garments while he hung upon a tree. He doesn't mean much to this old world, but he means the world to me. My life was down to nothing. Jesus turned my world around. My hopes and dreams were scattered, lying shattered on the ground. Oh yes, I really love him, but it's plain to see he doesn't mean much to this old world, but he means the world to me.
Where'd you get that?
That's
Is that Paul Williams?
yeah, Paul Williams.
Okay, I've heard that. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good tune. I've kind of played it a little different than what it normally would be, but
That's gorgeous.
that's how. Welcome to Known by Him. I figured I'd start off a little bit today with butchering one of my favorite songs. So
Oh, butchered it
that was
beautifully.
good. Yeah, I got Carter's back here. He's the he decided he's going to sit in because he's got a good story he wants to tell today. And then I got Chase Lay here. He's going to sit in and talk with us about his church a little bit. We're going to talk about just whatever comes to mind. We're talking about how we met and things like that. And then I got something I want to read here because if not, I'll forget what it is. Spring has arrived. Well, it almost is here. Everyone has some project they need to start over or finish, whether it's grass seed, lumber, furnace filters, or even a new flagpole. Visit the Plainfield Ace for all of your home needs, located behind CVS in the same lot as Kroger. Ask Mary for help if you need it. I read this because Plainfield Ace was nice enough to let me put up a flyer so we could advertise, try to get more people.
That's
and I
good
told
business.
them that if they let me do that I would do that.
That's good stuff.
So I'm reaching out to people and like that. That's what I'm trying to do. Just reach out and whoever, anybody that I can get come here and talk.
Need to go down to Oasis.
Oh,
Oasis is
diner?
good like that.
Yeah,
too.
that's what we need is more food.
Oasis is my joint, buddy. They got the Holy Ghost.
I know. That might be good. I'll write
That was a
down.
shameless plug right there too.
Right. Oasis Diner. No, I got a couple other places too. Another restaurant right here, and like I got the Frigid Frog. Read them yesterday. That guy is really excited about the fact that what I was telling him, what we're trying to do, and things like that. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, it's going. I mean, that's one. And then he's getting to be like he rides on the handlebars of those bicycles, so he gets to see me trying to spread the word all the time, and I think it's really been helping him. In these past 6 weeks, he's been somebody different.
That's good dad stuff. That's awesome.
Right?
You got a good dad.
Yeah,
You got a
Mom?
good dad.
Well, so Chase and I met, well, I used to play in a bluegrass band. I've told you guys that before. I'm a recovering bluegrassaholic. That's what I like to say. And Chase's wife, Faith, was the fiddle player in my bluegrass band. Well, not my band, in our bluegrass band. And back then I was, we were singing gospel songs, but I wasn't caring anything about any of the songs or what they had to say. So Chase and Faith got married. How long you been married now?
3 years.
We gotta put you on the spot. Don't mess it up. No, don't mess
3
it up.
years. Yeehaw.
And when I got saved, I called, or the day that I was having my, the day that I was decided I had, just time to be sitting, just time to get everything out of my heart and everything like that. I called Faith's mother, Karen. I called her, sent her a text message, and I said, hey, can you help me? I need to be, do I need to read something? Do I need to just ask God for forgiveness? What it was. Well, Uncle James called and he said, hey, I know you don't know Chase real well, but I'm going to have him come because I think it'll be good and all that. And I said, whatever. And so I didn't know you then, but now we've started to become pretty good friends. And if I call you, you answer the phone, we talk 30 minutes, whatever. And
yeah, it's good stuff.
so that's how we met. It's kind of just rolling. But you're preaching where?
I'm pastoring at Souls Harbor Baptist Church. My eye is itching, so forgive me for that. Souls Harbor Baptist Church up in Frankfort, Indiana. Awesome place, awesome place. Come see us. 357 Alhambra Avenue, Yorktown. God, Frankfort, Indiana, 46041.
That was the old church, right?
Yeah, yeah. Awesome place. If you love Jesus, you'll love us. And getting to meet Andrew, this great guy, getting to meet him on the day, getting to meet you on the day that God changed your life. There's no better day to meet somebody. And I've preached a lot about you. I've testified a lot about your experience. And your experience has helped a lot of people that you don't even know about yet.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. Just trying to get somebody to feel the way I feel inside. That's what it is. And I still ain't been to the church yet. Keep trying, but now
come to Souls Harbor, but he's gonna come at some point.
Yeah.
He'll be there.
I rain checked like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Maybe not that long ago.
And what's cool, and he needs to tell his story, because I'll do the Noah thing right after that if you want to, if you're good with that.
Yeah. You want to talk about your story now? What it was? You can just wait.
No, I can't.
You can hold it.
I can't.
You can hold it. Don't talk. We're not talking about that.
Big test
So
tomorrow.
now he's got to go to the restroom, and just go. Hurry up. Messing up the broadcast. Oh, okay.
Baptist got to go to the bathroom in the middle of church.
He
So
has a
I'm
big test tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got to take a test tomorrow at school too. I read. The
Yeah, that's this week.
You're on the mic. Thanks. Okay. This thing's hot, buddy.
Very hot.
You can be over there in the other room and just like this and pick it up. So, like you have a good projecting voice, so it's gonna sound good. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about this, and everybody's like, "Man, why aren't they talking?" No. All right, he's back. So before Carter tells his story,
That was quick.
I'll just say that I got some new handlebars on my bicycle, and I said a little bit ago that I'm, riding my bicycle around and trying to talk to people about Jesus and passing out flyers and whatever else. And I've been taking him on the handlebars with me, and he had a story that he wanted to talk about. Well, he got bribed actually with a Kit Kat, but hey,
Not a Kit Kat. Going to go to the Cracker Barrel in Plainfield,
oh, you like Cracker Barrel, don't you?
and going to get the gigantic Kit Kat. One of those things that if you eat it, you might wind up going and seeing Jesus.
There you
Good
go.
stuff.
You might have to slide up here a little bit so we can hear you. So go ahead and just start saying what you was gonna say. Just start from the
My box
beginning,
fell.
and just start from the beginning and start talking about what we was doing.
We were going on to Kroger on Daddy's bike, and then when we were coming back, he stopped at this guy's house down there, and
His name's Mike,
okay.
and he was in the Marine Corps. He got blown up. He got hit with a bomb.
And then they started talking about diesel trucks, and then he started asking the guy if he wanted to come to church, and the guy said that he wanted to know where it was, and then the guy said he used to go there, and then Daddy said if he wanted to come he could, and the guy might come down to church on Sunday.
Yep. And then and I told you that because why? You was complaining about.
Because I wanted to go home and kick the football.
Yeah, you want to go home, but I told you sometimes talking to somebody about Jesus is a little more important than coming home and kicking the football. I mean, that's not what I said, but it was only going to take us 5 minutes.
It's a good point. It's
Yeah.
a good point.
So that's what it was, right?
Right.
And that was showing you, and that maybe is going to show other kids that it's okay to talk about Jesus, okay to talk about God, and shouldn't be afraid to ask questions about it or talk about it, right?
Right.
You like going to the new church? You like going to our church, right? What do you like about it?
Because I get to sit with you and Mommy.
Yeah, but there's got to be something else you like.
That's good stuff.
You like the preacher?
I like the candy.
You like the candy? Yeah.
I love your kid. Honest kid.
Yeah, they got a candy jar. Actually, I got a funny story about that. Last Sunday, one of the guy that plays a stand-up bass in the choir there. His name's Travis. And I don't remember what the preacher got on. I don't remember exactly how I came up, but he started talking about what we was going to have for lunch or something like that. And he looked at Travis and he said, "What'd you eat for lunch, Travis? Or what'd you eat for breakfast?" And Travis said, "Candy." And like he hadn't skipped a beat, the preacher reached into his pocket and he had a piece of candy in there. And he threw that thing across the church. And he caught it just like this. He caught it and he goes, "Dinner's on me." That cracked me up. I thought that was hilarious.
Remember the kind of candy it was? No. Jolly Rancher grape needs to be.
But they only,
Jolly Rancher grape.
they only have peanut M&Ms, so I just get the peanut M&Ms with
Yeah.
quarters. And then somebody tries to put a quarter in the other ones that are empty, and I take the quarter and get more candy.
Peanut butter M&M's is the way to go.
Yeah.
No, peanut M&Ms.
No, peanut butter.
I
Two
like-
things in life, kid, never fail you.
I like
Jesus and
Skittles.
peanut butter.
I like Skittles.
Okay.
Yeah. They had these around Halloween. They had these zombie Skittles. I don't know if anybody ever saw the zombie Skittles. They had these zombie
You're
Skittles.
educating me, I don't know.
Yeah, and
One of
then-
them, and one in each bag was a rotten Skittle.
And it tastes
It
so
tasted
good.
so
Yeah,
bad.
at,
I could make you want to puke.
at school and lunch we did each day on the week. We'd have a class go up and try one, and I got a bad one.
See,
But I still chewed into
I didn't
it.
know that there was a bad one in there. See, because it was just those little packs. So I was just opening them and putting the whole pack in my mouth, and just chewing on them into a big ball.
Yeah.
Well, they started telling me one of them was nasty, so I started eating one at a time, and I got one.
Yeah, it's
Nope.
nasty.
Really nasty.
But you made it though. Good job, guys.
Great Jolly Ranchers, though. But we're just having, just made me think of the story. When I was still doing club stuff, like, you have to, you're earning, you're showing your worth, right?
Okay.
For a certain amount of time. You prospect, and then you're probationary, and then you're a member of the club, whatever. Well, you had to carry around this bag. Any prospect or probate had to carry around this bag, and you had anything from Tylenol, aspirin, feminine products, sexual protection things, condoms, whatever, things like that, medical stuff, sutures, whatever it was. And there was just one of the members from a state way out west loved grape Jolly Ranchers. Loved grape Jolly Ranchers. And you had to have those grape Jolly Ranchers in your bag. You always had to have one. I just thought of that.
It's good stuff. Grape's my way to go, bud.
Yeah.
I
We
like
doing?
the blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry, yeah,
and
that's
the
pretty good.
green apple.
Are you gonna sit here with us and talk? You're gonna be okay. Well, that we were talking the other day about. I was talking about somebody in my family, and I was trying to get them to, come to Jesus, or not necessarily even come to Jesus, just get them to have an honest conversation about.
Right.
An honest conversation about, because I tried to tell him that once I realized that I was the one who needed to be held account for all my wrongdoings, and I wasn't blaming anybody else around me, that's when things kind of changed. And I was telling I keep trying to get him to talk about it. Keep trying to get him to talk about it. And your response was encouraging to me. You told a
Right.
story, or you.
Right. So what I'll do, I'll go on like a 5-minute rant here.
That's fine. You can
5-minute rant. 5 minutes. Ready? Don't leave me hanging.
He gonna
Don't
tell
leave me
me.
hanging. Whatever. You want to do the fa la la thing? Fa la la la.
I don't know what
You never watch Big Hero?
Nope.
You need to get a kid to watch Big Hero.
You know which one he likes that's that kind of style movie is Up. Have you seen it?
Up.
I love
Okay.
that movie too.
My dog, and this is random. My dog just got done having surgery on his back, and I had to put him in the cone of shame from the movie Up. You remember the cone of shame? Yeah, he was in it. So we made fun of him because he bore the cone of shame. Moving on with life. So Genesis, you got this guy named Noah, and he's going to build an ark, and because of the Bible, we don't know a lot of ages unless the Bible tells it. We don't know it. We know that Noah he was married and he had 3 sons when he started building this boat. Yeehaw. I think that's awesome because here you are, and as of right now, your boy, your daughter knows you for living for Jesus. So from a very early age, all Noah's kids knew him for was building an ark for God. And if you'll have it, and this is not part of what we talked about, but it's still on the same thing. If you'll have it, all Christians are doing are building an ark. That's all we're doing is building an ark. Telling people about awesome Jesus, about an awesome God that'll do awesome things for them. That's building a ark. So it's something really awesome that you are taking time to teach you kids about Jesus. And here's what I love. So before we get into your part, that part that you're wanting to discuss. So your boy says that his favorite thing about the new church that you all are going to, Pastor Tony York, right?
Yeah.
Tony York. Y'all go see his church up in Canby. Good place.
Victory Bible Church.
Victory Bible Church. A lot of shameless plugs going on today, folks. His favorite part about the church is the fact that he gets to sit with you and Tiffany, mom and dad. It would be awesome, if Noah built this ark in 2021 and, everybody shows up at school, God willing, they're not on e-learning, and looks at one of Noah's kids, Sham, Ham, and Japheth. Hey Sham, what's your favorite thing about your dad? What do you like doing with your dad? And Sham would say, it's a little crazy, but my dad loves working for God, and I love doing that with him. And that is a awesome dad moment when, your kid's favorite thing, you talk to kids about, hey, what's your favorite thing about the church? And, you're looking for that, oh, dear God, the preaching of the Word of God, or the singing, or, how God just moves in. But when it's, I love that my family are together in church.
Wow.
Dude. Okay, sorry.
I hadn't thought about it really like that until.
My bad. So let's go. Get off that. So, it's never rained in Noah's day. Noah's never seen a drop of rain. It's never rained before. And he's going to build a boat. Seems very, very awkward. Okay? And he is going to tell his family, and Hollywood made a movie off of it, Effing Almighty. Kind of helps see some things, kind of doesn't. I get off that. Moving on. But he's going to have to tell his family, because God didn't do any divine show to Noah's wife and kids. Hey, we're going to build a boat. God only told Noah that. So he is going to have to break that down. And Noah's going to have to do what's best, what God told him to do, no matter what his wife says. But here's the thing. Noah's wife is going to have to decide in her heart, not only, hey, he's a good husband, he's a good dad, but going to have to decide, do I trust him? And do I trust that God's telling him this? So you're going to have to look at, how much time do you think it took? And this is not an actual question, but think about it. How many weeks, how many months, even years? Because it took 120 years to build that blessed boat, 120 years. How much time do you think it took of awkward moments in the marriage? Awkward conversations, arguments even.
Right.
You say God told you to do this, but it's never rained, man.
Right.
And, telling the kids that, and the kids have to live with the ridicule of, your dad's building a boat.
We've never even seen water.
Yeah, why? And then, sure, things get good, but let's just say, the kids are adults. He's still persuading them, because here's the facts. Even though Noah preached to all human beings, get on the boat, it's going to rain. And it ain't just going to rain, it's going to flood. And if you don't get on the boat, you're going to die. While that's important, Noah, that the random Joe that lives 10 minutes down the road needs to get on the boat, God promised him one thing. Build the boat, and I'll save your family.
Right.
The facts are, if his wife thinks he's crazy, he cares about her life more than he cares about what she thinks. He cares about his kids' lives more than he cares about their ridicule. So one way or another, I'm going to build that boat.
Yeah.
And then, the boys get married, and, there's that persuasion that has to take place. But here's the thing. No matter how long it took, no matter how many awkward moments, no matter how many discouraging remarks that were made, no matter how much, this is a podcast, this ain't church, I'm going to tell you, how much crap they had to go through. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you 2 C's. No matter how much crap they had to go through for Christ.
Right.
Never thought that. That was okay. That was okay. No matter how much they had to go through for Christ, when that 120th year came, and they got on the boat, and Noah is hand in hand with his wife, and right behind him are his 3 boys with their wives, it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it. So no matter how many times you invite family or invite friends to come to church and they say no, the day that those folks get saved, it'll be worth it. Every moment that you put your boy on the bicycle bars and went running down the roads, he dedicates his life to Jesus, it'll be worth it. No matter what the situation is, no matter how much you go through for Jesus, when God makes you a promise, the day it becomes reality instead of faith, it'll be worth it. And this is what I love about that ark thing, and I've hit the end of my 5-minute rant. I did. I'm at 6 minutes. Anyway.
You ain't got no time.
So the ark rested. When the ark came to a stop, it came to a stop at the top of Mount Ararat. Okay. Which at that time was still one of the highest mountains. Okay. What I love about it is this. God had that boat stop on a mountain. Sure, for loads of spiritual reasons. But you'll always remember this as a high moment in your life. The day that God answers the prayer. The day that God gives you the paycheck for the work that you put in. The day that God gives you the victory for the battle. Whatever it is, you'll remember that. And because you'll remember that victory, you'll know no matter what you face, it'll always be worth it because you can remember the mountain. That's good.
Yeah.
So did I do the arc good?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
I was hoping
Just
I hit what
staying-
I hope
Just
you.
staying. To me, it was just don't get discouraged.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged because you can't. It ain't. Sometimes it don't happen in 15 seconds. You're not gonna. Sometimes you can't get somebody to get on board with you. Or get on board with something, or even to think about it, or even talk about it right away.
120 years.
Yeah.
Who lives that long?
And that's why I've been saying when I'm doing this, if I can get somebody to come in here, it doesn't matter to me if they're saved, they grew up in church, whatever it is. If I can sit them down and we can sit down and talk to them and get them to agree with me on one point, it's just one step closer.
Okay, so let's break that down just for a second. I know it wasn't planned, but it wasn't nothing planned.
We ain't planned any of this.
So
We're winging it.
get this. I haven't checked out your views for the last couple. I checked out one of your views. I don't remember how many. Do you know how many views you've been getting?
On that first podcast, we got like 85 right now.
Okay, so because I study this stuff, to someone that doesn't take a lot of things into account, 85 views is 85 people.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not true. And you can look at the negative side of that view stuff and say, well, it comes down to how long they watched it, because if it's 2 minutes, then they'll give it a view. But here's what I know. Okay, 85 views could mean that that's 85 screens that your gospel podcast, Jesus life-changing podcast went out on. Okay, that could be a home of 5, could be a home of 4, it could be a marriage, it could be anything. Could be a person going down the road, put it on their Bluetooth, listen to it. Here's the thing. What you are doing, whether it's a glance, whether it's people considering it, or whether it's people listening every week, you're changing lives. God has officially gave you, and He did it the day He saved you. God officially gave you the authority to change lives through His Son. And whether it's 1 or whether it's 85 or 300, you're doing that.
That's what we're hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
God gives Noah, say, I'm going to build an ark, man. And I'm going to put it in my Bible.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, do you really think that when God tells Noah to build this ark, hey, by the way, I'm going to put it in the Bible, B-I-B, I mean, I know you don't know what that is, but I'm going to put it in the Bible, and it's literally going to change lives for thousands of years. What? Build the boat. Build the boat, because I need people to see what a person and what a family, what it looks like when they fully trust me. Just build the boat, and I'll take care of it there.
Well, and if, the thing, even if, let's say, for instance, there wasn't a flood, but God still told Noah to build that boat.
What faith? What faith?
Well,
yeah.
What I'm saying, but also if he was still keeping the faith and he was building that boat and he was doing what God asked him to do or what God told him to do, and he was still doing everything he was doing, and there was never a flood and people still laughed at him.
Yeah.
But the next day, they just got hit with a, something landed in that area and killed everybody else, but him and his family were safe in that boat, no matter what. What I'm just saying, there's, if you didn't, the idea of keeping the faith strong, staying on track of building that boat, the outcome could have been whatever. He just knew that no matter what, God said he would save his family.
Yeah.
We built that boat.
You take Job. Take Job for example. Since we're flying scripture, take Job for example. Outside of your first 5 books of your Bible, your books of Moses, whatever. Job is your oldest book of the Bible.
Okay.
Job does not have a Bible. The man called Job does not have a Bible. He doesn't have a church to go to. He has nothing like that. But God looks at him and calls him a perfect and upright man. So here's what Job's family would testify and say. All 10 of his kids, they would say, my dad doesn't have a church, but he believes in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. My dad doesn't have a Bible, but he believes God's made him some promises.
Mm-hmm.
God help, that's good stuff, bud. And you think, my dad has no proof of this God that me and you know today. No proof of it. But yet he thanks him for everything. Thanks him for everything.
Right.
And here we are, and we got, you look at someone that had nothing, like a Job, and, we quote what he says. And he didn't know it was going to be in the Bible. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away, but blessed be the name of the Lord. Who said that? Job said that. He didn't
I actually didn't know that.
He didn't read it out of the book of Job. He is the book of Job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, Job's real life testimony was right there for 39 chapters. 39 chapters. And this is what God said. Okay, after Job's children died, after his wife said just curse God and die, which that's a whole other thing. I ain't going to do that tonight. But after all this, and he's got bulls from the top of his head, sole of his feet. After all that, God said this about Job. After all this mess, Job didn't sin, and he didn't charge me foolishly. Holy cow. And he didn't have a mess load of pastors around that was like, buddy, just take it to the Lord in prayer. Just. And he didn't have YouTube songs to listen to worship, listen to good singing, preaching. And he didn't even have God to speak to him. All he had was to look up at the sky. There's got to be a God that loves me. There's got to be. Lord, that'll preach. I need to quit. That's good stuff, though, man.
Yeah, hey, you can look. We don't
High
have
five for Jesus.
We don't have a time schedule. We're gonna come with whatever. I was on, something interesting. You might have something you want to talk about on this. I think a couple weeks ago, he was talking about Jonah. And he was talking about how Jonah was mad at God. And he was telling him that he was praying to God, talking to God, and basically telling him how he felt. He's being honest with him. And that was the first time that that's the first time that I thought about it that way. It's the first time I thought about, I don't have to just be praying to God and telling him thank you. I should be.
Yeah.
But I can also express my displeasure with, not displeasure, but maybe
honesty.
Why did it have to be that way?
Right.
Why did that have to be that way? And I started thinking about that because there was this this guy that I went to school with, that I work with. He's got a daughter that lives out in Colorado. And they came home from school, came home from work 2 or 3 weeks ago, and their 13-year-old didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I
remember that.
Yeah, I told you that. And so I started thinking about that. If I kneeled down to pray that night, I don't know what I just think I'd have to be mad about something, or at least I'd have to be being honest and saying so I just think that was another, that was completely off track of what we were saying, but I just thought about it and,
Well, okay. So, you got folks that say that you can't be mad at God and you can't question God. I understand that to an extent. I understand that. But if we're going to say that, then there has to be some question in his power. There has to be some question in who he is. Because here's the thing. If God, do you believe God knows everything?
Yeah.
Sees everything?
Yeah.
You believe that?
All knowing, the infinite.
He believes that. Okay, so here's my problem. Here's my problem with God. that this God that we're talking about in some ways, our Bible teaches us that God knows the very thoughts of our mind and the very intentions of our heart. God just doesn't know what we do. He knows why we do it, to who we did it to, and why we did it to them.
Right.
He knows the very hairs of our head, meaning he knows how many we've got and how many we used to have, and he even knows where those things are laying right now.
Right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here's my point. If I'm hurt at God, I'm kidding myself if I think he doesn't know that. If I'm upset at God, I'm a fool if I think he doesn't already know that. So here's the thing. If I'm upset at God over tragedy, over situation, whatever it is, and I'm hiding that from him because I don't want him to know that, there's a problem already. He already knows it.
Yeah.
If you want a real relationship with God, you, the awesome guy, anybody out there, you want a real relationship with God, you get real with him and he'll get real good with you. That's good. That's true.
Yeah, it is. Amen.
That's right.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's good.
Do you think it's good to be living, trying to do things the way Jesus wanted us to do it, and yeah, be good to people? He's always like that sign that says, just be kind. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Judge? He's always like that. But sometimes,
When I was little, I didn't even know what that meant.
what, just be kind?
Yeah, when
It means
I was
just
little.
be kind to somebody.
I know that, but I didn't know what that was. By the time, until I was like 4 years old.
40?
No, I said 4.
You're 40 now, right? How old are you?
9.
90. You married yet?
9.
You got a girlfriend?
9.
You got a girlfriend?
I don't.
I'll tell you how I got my girl. You ready for this? So I went up to her and I touched her on the shoulder and I was like, ah. And she's like, hey, are you okay? I'm like, you're so hot when I touched you, I burned my hand. I'm kidding, I didn't do that though. That's funny.
What about you from Tennessee?
You know.
There's only 10 eyes.
I don't know.
We got a lot of pickup lines for
You
you.
don't get it, yeah. You're not old enough. He ain't into girls yet, which is good. He's still focusing on basketball and schooling and football. Yeah,
Just don't do steroids.
right. You can be this big without having steroids.
Buddy, I'm serious. I never even did protein.
And there was this is completely off subject too. We're talking about, well, not really. We're talking about steroids. There's a kid I went to school with. There's a couple people that got in trouble. I'm not gonna mention any names, but there's a couple people that got in trouble in the football program. One was the distributor of the steroids, and the other one was just doing them with him, you know. And I remember one time the person who was, bringing all that around, he got so mad on the sidelines that he's taking his helmet and he was smashing it into his, I mean, he just split himself
Yeah,
all down his
there's a word for that.
roid rage.
Idiot.
yeah. Oh, idiot.
Idiote. Idiote.
Idiotes, yeah. Were you talking about that sermon? The time when we were listening to that preacher?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, we were listening to,
I thought it was the radio or something.
well, I was listening to, sometimes I listen to old, I look up old Baptist sermons or whatever, and I listen to them when I'm driving. And I came across this one by Dr. Jack Lyles called Who's an Idiot? Right?
Ooh.
And he's talking about, no, don't say that, I'm talking about politics.
Yeah, no politics.
No, we're talking about that.
Because no matter who's in office, Jesus is still on the throne.
That's right. Jesus is our commander in chief, right? We don't worry about who the president is. We ain't even hardly turn the TVs on for any of that stuff for a while. We're just worried about this, right? Okay.
High five
So-
for Jesus.
So it's called Who's an Idiot? That's the sermon, okay? And he starts off by talking about how he goes, I don't remember, he was somewhere preaching. I think he said he was in Oklahoma. I think he said he was in Oklahoma. He was preaching at this church. And he said, some guy come up to him and he said, Mr. Dr. Lyles, I'd like to ask you a question. He said he thought, okay. Never mind. So he walked him out there and he said, you seen my new Lincoln Town car? He's showing him his new car. And the doctor's like, yeah, okay. And he looked at him and he said, I gotta ask you a question, preacher. And he said, okay. And he said, is it true that, ministry offered you such and such amount of money and a house and a car and a salary and you turned them down? And he said, yep, sure is. And he said, is it true that you don't have any money put back for retirement? You know? And he said, yep, that's true. And he said, well, how are you going to retire? And Dr. Jack said, I'm going to retire when I die, when I go to heaven. That's when I'll retire. That's when I'll quit preaching, you know?
Yeah.
And he's saying, is it true that you only make $8,000 a month? You know, and this is an older servant. I mean, $8,000 a year, whatever it was. And he went on to say, and he said at the end of that conversation, the guy looked at him and said, well, you know, I mean this with much respect possible, but you're an idiot. And he called him that. So then he said he started thinking, am I an idiot? Am I an idiot? And he said, when I was a kid and my teacher at school was trying to get me to dance in the choir, you know, because he was class president or something, and every class president was supposed to do this dance. He said, was I an idiot when she kept trying to get me to dance? And I finally told her, man, I'm not going to dance because I don't think Jesus would want me to dance like that. He said, was I an idiot? Am I an idiot? And he was giving all these examples. He's talking about a guy and somebody came out and bought his house, and the people came out and bought his house, and they gave him a little bit more than he was expecting to get out of it. So before they came back to get it, he painted it, cleaned it up. Painted it, cleaned it up, did all these things, okay? Well, when they come back, he said, don't you see what I did to the house? Don't you see what I did to the house? He didn't even realize that they were just buying it so they could tear the house down and build something new there. You know, that's what they told him. And that's what he was going on about, you know. Is he an idiot? But he was talking about, he did research on the word idiot, idiotus. And I can't remember what book he said it was in. But he, you know, it was Roman, I mean, it was Latin and all he traced the word back. And the only thing he could find in the Bible one time is where it was used to talk about people who were self-righteous.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
And he used that. He used that to talk about how if you're not living for God, if you're not working for God, if you're not doing what you're supposed to, doing what God wants you to do, then who's an idiot?
Yeah.
That's what it was. You have to look that up and listen to it. It's a good sermon.
I like that.
I really like it too, and I think about it all the time now. I think about, ooh, wait, I shouldn't be saying I. It made me be convicted and think about being selfish or thinking about I'm doing what I'm trying to do. It's not about me at all. It's not about me at all. And now I'm conscious of that. And just that one sermon helped me. Just think about it.
That's good stuff, man.
That's good. I don't remember where he was preaching out of, but it was pretty good. I like that one.
So let me give you a story. Have you ever heard Mike's personal story?
No, I mean you told me a little bit about it, but
yeah, I'm not watching my time. I don't want to run too long.
no, we ain't.
Okay.
Unless that thing shuts off and ain't got no more storage,
Yeah.
we're gonna be here until we get done.
All right, Romans 12:1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Lord, which is your reasonable service. So here's what you don't know. So my birth mother. Do you know I'm adopted?
I did know that.
You did. You did. They didn't. They didn't know it. You didn't know that. No, he didn't know that. So my birth mother was 15 years old when she became jar of Prego with me, and her boyfriend and her parents did not want me, aka abortion. Wanted me to be aborted. Boyfriend and her parents told her, "You keep the kid, and we won't support you. We'll cast you out." And so, unbeknownst to the people, I was born in Jersey. Do you know that part?
No, I didn't know.
I was born in Jersey. Do I sound Jersey? Fist bump.
From Jersey, Tennessee.
Yeah. So, unbeknownst to anyone in Jersey, my mom and dad, they had 3 miscarriages. My mom that adopted me couldn't have kids. Mm-hmm. So her church, my mom and dad's church, really encouraged them, don't quit praying, don't give up. God's going to do something great. So my birth mother decided instead of abortion, she'd put me up for adoption. Okay, and I mean, man, you look at my birth certificate, you can tell, because there's no health records. I don't know anything that's in my family. I don't know anything. The only thing I know is my grandpa died at 38 from high blood pressure. That's all I know.
Right.
But like my dad's name isn't even on my birth certificate because my birth mother said, if I get teary, you wink at me or something because I won't do that. My birth mother said, if your dad didn't want to be here for this and he didn't want to be a part of your life, then he doesn't deserve to be on your birth certificate. And, what she didn't know was my dad might not have cared for me. But I got a father, buddy.
Right, yeah.
I got a father. John 3:16, I love this. John 3:16, for God so loved, your Bible says the world, my Bible says the world, but Chase Lay's Bible says, for God so loved Chase Lay, that he gave his only begotten son, that if Chase Lay believed, Chase Lay wouldn't perish. But he didn't. That's good. Anyway, moving on. So, I get adopted, at 16 weeks old. And, man, you won't believe this now because, like, right now I'm somewhere between, like, 200 and 400 pounds right now.
Somewhere between 200 and 400.
I'm right in that gauge. On a heavy day, I'm somewhere between, like, 150 and 500. It's a weird gauge, but I was born at, like, 2 pounds. So I was, like, a little milk dud.
Yeah.
But I'm good now. I'm good now. So, like, there's so many reasons I shouldn't even be here. And I was talking to Pastor Scott Harper. You remember me telling you about New Life Baptist in Columbus?
Yeah.
I was talking to him one day, and he said, Jace, have you ever wondered how to repay God? I said, yeah. I said, but there's no way. After all God's done for you, there's no way to repay him. And he said, yeah, there is. Well, then by all means, fill me in. And he said, if it wasn't for God, you wouldn't have life, right? You'd been aborted or you'd have died at birth. And I said, yes, sir. And he said, you wouldn't have had it if it wouldn't have been for him. God gave you life, and the only way to repay him is to live the life you've got for him. Hey, bud. And it doesn't, not that we'll do it perfectly, but the facts are, you look at how many times God spared your life, my life, whatever, all the things that could have happened if we'd been born at a different time or a different area or whatever the case is.
And what you just said goes to that just reminded me of something else too. I was listening to somebody preach one day and they were talking about what the most noble thing you could do or the thing you could do that would be best for God is to lose yourself in other people.
Yeah.
Lose yourself in trying to show people, bring God to people, bring Jesus people, bring them into the light. Like, that's the best thing you could do. That's the only way you could ever, like you said, attempt it.
Yeah.
Because you said to me one time, just a couple weeks ago, Jesus paid a price that we otherwise could never have paid back.
Yeah.
We could have never paid that debt. Still couldn't.
Yeah, that whole who's an idiot thing, man, after all God's done for me, beat addiction, stuff like that, yeah, I'm an idiot if I don't live for him.
Well, I said, when I had somebody call me, and I shared this on my page, but I told somebody a couple weeks ago that, it's just on, I don't even know what it was, I just commented on there, and I told them that Jesus loved them. Well, that brought out the wolves, man. I mean, it was like I punched a button. I triggered some people. People was calling me idiots, ignorant, all that stuff. Just, they said I was pushing my religion on people, and I wasn't. I simply said, Jesus loves you. That's all I said. So then that made me think about that. Because they called me an idiot and called me ignorant and all that. And I thought the same thing you just did. If I'm an idiot, then God, I'll be your idiot.
Yeah.
Like, I'll gladly be God's idiot.
Yeah. That's good stuff, too.
But yeah, this is, and you're, you know what you're doing now. I mean, you're a heck of a preacher. I love listening to your stuff on YouTube and all that stuff. So.
Yeah.
Try to, but you got to look that. I'll share that Jack Lyles thing with you.
Yeah, do it.
And there's another one I've been trying to watch. Well, I mean, he has a series of these ones called Justice, and there's like 30 of them. But they said you have to start at number 1 because you'll get lost.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If folks enjoy watching us on YouTube, by all means, look us up. Souls Harbor Missionary Baptist Church, Frankfurt, IM, YouTube. We got all kinds of stuff, good library recorded.
And then you're on Facebook too.
I'm on Facebook.
Chase Lay, you got
Yeah.
Chase Lay, Lay.
But you know, whether it's Jack Lyles, and you know, I listen to all kinds of preachers all the time. Preacher Terry Pace, great evangelist in our day. Preacher Kenny Baldwin. There's so many pastors that listen. The only way to be a great, I'll put it this way: the only way to be a good Christian is to be surrounded by great Christians. The only way to be a good person is to be surrounded by great people. Thank you. No matter what you're good at, if it's an athlete, you know, the only way to be successful in weightlifting is to be surrounded by solid weightlifters and trainers that know what they're doing.
See, I told you that.
You're welcome.
Didn't I?
So the only way to be, and I'm not saying good pastors and there's something self-righteous about it, but the only way to be a good pastor, so forgive me for making it sound like I'm saying pastors are excellent. Man, they're just, you know, okay. The only way Timothy can be a good Timothy is if he's surrounded by Apostle Pauls. The reason Elisha could cross Jordan is because he had an Elijah. The only reason, obviously God. Ruth could do what Ruth did is because she had a Naomi. So to anybody, you know, any good churches now are because of heroes of faith that were there for them. Nobody's here because of nobody. Everybody's here because of somebody.
Yeah. I got that. You get that? Who are you here because of? Kit Kat.
I was interested in that response. That could have went a lot of different ways.
Well, this was a really good talk.
Good job, man. I enjoyed it.
Anytime we want to do this again, we can do it whenever, you know.
Let me plug Andrew Sartin real quick. So, all of my pastor friends that are going to watch this, and any pastor that's watching, any church, deacon, whatever the case may be, youth director, any of that stuff, Andrew Sartin, is wanting to take his testimony on the road and go sharing his experience in churches, to youth groups, anywhere, anything. Please know, I highly recommend that. I highly recommend him. I promise you, he'll lift up Jesus, and that's what we need. We need to know what conversion is and what God can do. God can't just give you an edited life, but he can give you a new life. I encourage you. Andrew Sartin, what God's helping him do is a blessing. He's being a blessing, raising blessing to be an awesome blessing. He's doing it right. He's got my support.
And if you want to, you can email me if somebody wants to talk to me, somebody wants to pray with, be prayed for, just talk to somebody, listen. Known by him podcast at gmail.com, or on my Facebook page at On the Rise Faith. And I just want you to know that Jesus died, he was buried, and he was raised, and he died for your sins. And Jesus is the only way that we're ever going to make it out of here alive.
Yeah.
And that's the way that I'm going to continue to live my life, is that truth, and trying to show people that truth and make people feel the way I feel inside and Chase feels inside, and how you're going to feel inside or do feel inside. Right? You want to say bye? Thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Good job, kid.